Alright, well, our membranes seem to need to be replaced, or maybe some O-rings, I'm not sure. And because our water's starting to taste a little salty. I'm a little surprised they need to be replaced because I think we only have 490 hours on our membranes. So I took a picture of everything so I know how it all goes back. And I think I have everything but the membrane. I have the membranes. I don't have the O-rings. So, well, I'm just going to take it apart and see what they look like, and then that way I can order them and have them by next year if I can't get them installed, or maybe I can get them somehow delivered by the time I get up to Matthews at Zimmerman. Alright, this one seems like it's a 19 millimeter. Unfortunately, I don't know why I have a 19 millimeter box end, but I don't have a 19 millimeter open end. So I had to use this adjustable wrench. And this comes off, it's just finger tight. So this is the water outlet, fresh water outlet, I guess. And so it's just finger tight. It's not very much pressure. This is the water outlet that goes to the pressure gauge, and also the pressure adjustment. Alright, one thing I should have had ready and I didn't. I don't know why I wasn't thinking. Is you probably should have something underneath this to capture the water as you let this out, because this is salt water, and obviously you can see my two pumps. I think this is the high voltage pump, and this is the DC pump. I had a leak up here once, and it dripped super salinated water onto the air conditioning vent, and it really does a number on the aluminum. 120 volt pump over here, and this is the DC pump over here. You can see the salt water and stuff down in there. Kind of corroded that a little bit. I need to probably wipe that up some more. And it's a mess in there. Holy cow. Alright, these nuts are 17 millimeter nuts, and I have 4 of them, and once you take one side off, the other side can slide out. So I'm gonna take this out, because this bar here and this bar down here are the ones that hold it up against the wall. And so after I take these off, I should be able to take this whole thing down and take it to a table where it'll be easier to work on. Alright, well, here it is. This is out, and it's quite heavy actually. It's probably about 25-30 pounds. And now I'm going to take the rest of these off, and then these end caps come off, and I should have the individual cylinders. All these bars are out now. These 2 end caps, they're made out of aluminum, it looks like, anodized aluminum. They look to be identical, so it looks like you can probably swap them. I didn't notice any difference between them. And then we got these little connectors in here, these white ones right in here, and you need to pull these apart, my understanding, and they're just set in there with a fitting and an O-ring. Alright, those came apart pretty easily. I can see that there's a little bit of lube on there. I can feel it, which is good, and the O-rings do not seem like they've been beat up any. So I'm going to take a picture of this again so that I remember how it goes back together. Alright, I saw another YouTube video where they used a couple pipe wrenches and used that to unscrew well, suffice it to say, and you put duct tape around it so you don't mar the surfaces and stuff, but suffice it to say, I can't get enough lateral pull on these, enough pull force to get these out. I can get them to twist, but I can't get it out, and I don't have a vise that's big enough. that can put this part, which is what this desolator says you need to use, put in a vise to hold the end caps, twist and pull at the same time, and I can't seem to get them out. So I guess I gotta go to the hardware store again tomorrow and see if I can buy a vise. They also recommend using a big old socket for the ends when you tap them down, and also to avoid marring these connections, these plastic fittings and stuff like that. Alright, after going to 3 hardware stores and 2 automotive stores, I think I finally had the solution. I have one membrane replaced, and I need to work on these next 2 right now. So initially I tried the advice of somebody else on the internet and used some pipe wrenches. So I got 2 pipe wrenches, and you tape the end to avoid marring the ends, and I also had some tape around the tube, but I couldn't get enough lateral force to pull those end caps out. So I ultimately had to get another vise that I'll show you in a second, or I had the vise, but I had to get another vise grips that were big enough to go around it, and I was able to get the ends off. And this is my setup. I had this vise here. I've got a grip, and I got a board on there, board up here to protect this surface, and then the vise in there. Alright, with this you should be able to twist and pull. Unfortunately my vise is not strong enough to resist the torsion, so I might have to go back and forth and just be careful that it doesn't slip out. Alright, I took that end off, and it took a while to get it started, but it eventually started to come. I gotta do this end. Take the tape off. Works pretty well, protecting the surface. Oh yeah, by the way, when I clamp down, I try to make sure that I'm not around this hole so that I don't deform it. And there's a little bit of marks in here, but it seems to be okay, I think. Alright, the first time I did this, I used the socket, and this is a 1-inch socket, and I extracted it this way, and I had to use an extension bar and everything else, but that's not the right way to do it, as I've learned, because there is a sealing O-ring on this end that's supposed to be on the red side, but there is no sealing O-ring down here, and you know that because this kind of moves around a little bit and you can kind of feel it. So the sealing O-ring needs to be on the side of the red. So the best way to take this out is tap it out from the blue side, and then once you get past the first 1.5 inches or so, the O-ring will come out and it'll slide right out. Alright, this is why I did this outside on the deck. I'm going to go out on the deck and do this, and I'll be back. Alright, the membranes come wrapped up like this. These are Film Tech's 2521s, SW30 2521s, and seems to be the same ones that are in there because the labels are still on. SW30 2521. They come wrapped up in these packages, and it has cautions about using hands or using gloves to protect your hands and your clothing. I don't know why. they are wrapped in something so they don't get damaged, obviously. And but I think they're also it's somewhat damp in there, so I don't know what the liquid is in there. I've heard that there is a shelf life for these, and that also they can't dry out, otherwise they cease to work. So I think that's probably what it's all about. Alright, once you get past this lip, it slides right out pretty freely. And this is what it looks like. I don't know how to tell if it's good or bad. Well, I know it's bad because it's not making good water, but a bunch of discolorations in there. I wonder if that's from petroleum products or something like that. I don't know. Alright, to insert these, you have to kind of depress this ring as you slide it in. As you slide it in this way. And I have been told, or I've seen a couple things, they've used olive oil. I've seen two conflicting things, and maybe it's just a lost in translation kind of thing with this desolator, where they say don't put any food grade silicone grease around on this membrane. So I've used olive oil to help get it in there, and then you kind of have to go around with a screwdriver and depress it as you kind of push this down in there. I put some olive oil in here and around all these O-rings here. That, and then this, just why it's so there it goes, pretty tight fit. So I'm going to take it to the dock. I'm going to use the mallet. I'm going to use this over here. I'm going to use the mallet to tap this down in here, like that. So it's important to take a picture and try to get the orientation as good as you can. This little inlet is where the connector between the two parallel tubes goes, and it's essentially perpendicular to this nozzle over here direction. So it's really important that you take a picture and try to get it right, because otherwise you're going to have to, once you get it in there, you're going to have to rotate it in order for everything to go back together properly. And knowing how tight these are, that's not going to be very fun. And then again, you're going to need two sockets for this. You need one to put this end in, like that, and then you need another socket for up here to hammer this part down. Make sure that when you put enough duct tape around when you use the pipe wrench, because I did not, and I kind of was afraid I wasn't going to have enough, and I was proven right. So yeah, make sure you put about 3 or 4 layers. ring's got to go in there right. So alright, it's all laid out like it's got to go together, and high pressure comes in here from the pump, and this goes to the regulator, and this is where the water outlet goes. I believe it comes out here. The thing that I didn't do when I put this one together is you have to get it in such a way such that these connectors line up, and this one is torqued down. It needs to mate up with this one right here, and these are usually facing straight out like this, so this one's probably okay. This one needs to be rotated counterclockwise about 15 degrees this way. Keep pushing it. Well, when it lines up, it's going. There we go. Alright, it's up. Woo! Alright, I'm going to tighten these screws down over here before I forget. So, say you're supposed to use Loctite on this surface, which I don't actually see them actually using any Loctite on here, which maybe explains why things might have leaked a little bit on one side. But I got a problem. I don't know how to get this cable out. Loctite 542. You can't buy this. I got it on Amazon. I think they only sell it in cases or something. It's not sold for individual use, I guess. I'm not sure, because it says it's for consumer or commercial use only. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. I'm back. I'm an idiot. This thing has a little, I don't know what you call it. You have to pull it up. There it goes. Okay. Alright, so let's try this again. It doesn't say how long you need to let it sit for. So I'm gonna go switch the tank to discard the water, and then we'll fire this thing up and see if it comes back and starts leaking. Hopefully not. All right. No salt. All right. We'll let this run for an hour and then we'll test it. This is diverting it out through here or feeding it in through one tank or the other. All right. Everything looks like it's looking good. Bouncing the leaks. Let me get down there. See the leaks. Okay. Nothing there. Nothing here. Looking good. Here's the belt, and it looks like it's in good shape, although I guess the good thing with this type of unit is that I can run it off a 12 and 120, and that if I have a problem with one belt I can always run it off the other pump. But obviously you can see there's a lot of salt water and stuff that's been built up. I'm going to try to wash that all off, clean it up a little bit with a wet rag. Okay, it's 5 o'clock and I am done. Well, except for cleaning up. We got a big mess here. Here are the old membranes. I don't know what's good from bad. Definitely a lot of dark spots in here. I don't know what that is. If you happen to know, let me know. Oh, look at that. Leave your comments in the comment section and let me know what it is. Anyway, I started yesterday. Actually, maybe the day before. I think I started the day before, and I took the membrane assembly out and disassembled it and everything else. And yesterday I went to the hardware store, but couldn't get what I needed to get done. And with the pipe wrenches, I couldn't get it off the end caps. So then today, this morning, we had to run to 2 hardware stores. We ran to TSC, and we went to Harbor Freight, and then we went to O'Reilly's, and then we went to another automotive store. His name's escaping me at this very minute, to get all the tools I needed to do this. And after all that, I think I pretty much used them all, including a small vise that I already had. You need two 17 millimeters box end. You need a 19 millimeter open end, which I didn't have, so an adjustable wrench. You will need some Loctite 542. You of course need the membranes, and on this particular model they are SW30s 2521s, and they're exactly the same model and manufacturer that I pulled out to begin with. Yeah, I don't know, getting those end caps off is a definite challenge. There's got to be a better way, and I guess if you had a better vise that that could grip it better, and maybe something else, you know, I wasn't afraid of actually hurting myself or ripping something off the boat or whatever. It probably would have went a little bit better. But I think maybe tomorrow I'll let it run an hour, make sure it's still not leaking, and then check the water quality afterwards. And we will call this done.